Good morning. Good morning. Well, I'm not just Indian Springs Farmers Association, but it's a group of us, and this is a small picture of us right here. But I am Darnella Winston. I am a fifth-generation vegetable farmer, and I have been, I guess by trade, I'm a school teacher, but I had to leave the school teaching alone and go back to the farm because I couldn't teach the way I wanted to teach. So I am a farmer, which I was a farmer by, I guess, since I was born, little to say. We farm about 300 acres, me and my father, and I just had a baby 4 weeks ago, so she will be the sixth generation farmer, me and my husband. And so this is just, thank you, thank you. So I just told John, I said, I wouldn't miss coming to Louisiana for the world. My doctor said, just take it easy. I said, I have to be there. I have to be there. In 2006, we started doing things that farmers just, we were just sitting around. Katrina had hit, and we was like, what could we do? So by me being the only female and young girl in the cooperative, I said, we have to do something. And we couldn't think of anything. The guys was like, well, I don't know, what could we do? And I said, well, the school, let's take something to the schools in Louisiana. So in 2006, what we ended up doing was getting together a small project where we would just bring watermelons to the school system. And so I am a watermelon farmer, but I am the best eggplant farmer you ever wanted to, taste. I got to do a little bragging there. But we kind of started off doing a little something, and so I end up saying, okay, as years start growing, I have this program that we call Project Healthier Mississippi and Louisiana Farm to School program, Foodapalooza Farm to School Edition. So this is just something that we come up with. So work with me with this PowerPoint because I had to show it to the guys, the farmers, and they were like, what is this? I don't know if that's what we're doing. So this is something that we end up doing, but then we could talk a little bit more about it as we go on. But very promising. If 25 cents a day per student lunch was spent on locally grown produce, it would add up to around $94,000 daily and more than $17 million annual revenue for Mississippi and Louisiana farmers. And I just noticed on the Fresh Central card that it had the same thing as a little slogan on the bottom. If we purchase locally, that would be 91, I think it says $1 million that could be kept locally in the community on that card. So look for that card that's out there on the table. It's pretty interesting. Project Healthier Mississippi, from what I noticed, let me see, with this farm to school, our thing was just giving to the school. We wasn't asking for pay, we wasn't asking, it was just something to give. And then we noticed that farm to school just started picking up. But as I start reading from state to state, I can't find one definition for what farm to school is. I can see, we could call elementary school, you can call junior high school, but my folks, we call college when you go to school, take some produce with you. So I figured, we'll call all of them school. Universities, college, junior high, primary, all of them are schools, but there's no one definition for farm to school. The school connects students from farms and foods that's produced on the farm, locally items through school meals, taste test in cafeteria, classroom, and various activities is just kind of what we call it. And all the possibilities that we found out about doing farm to school. Serving local items, education, farmers can visit the school, and I think I might be up there at that picture in the corner. Every time that we try to make a delivery or we try to go to the school, I try not to schedule nothing on the same day, which gets kind of tedious because when we make a delivery, I also want to be in the cafeteria when the kids are eating that local produce. I don't just want our co-op to deliver and then drive off. I want to stay. I want the kids to be able to say, okay, that's a farmer. I want to be able to talk to the farmer because just last week, we had a child that was 6th grade and wanted to know, could you plant chickens to make them come up? So the thing is even though farmers, because I have them, and I got on 'em about not being here today, but this is watermelon and eggplant, squash, and cucumber season, so I said, well, all right, I got it. But the things that we are missing from farmers just being able to be in the school and then being able to have that fresh produce, but not just having the fresh produce, but knowing who grew it. It wasn't just grew by machines, and we have some that ask, well, do you dig watermelons out the ground? So those type of questions is enough to touch me to bring back to our guys and say, not only do we grow it, but we also have to go out and talk about it too, especially to the schools. More advertising, and I asked for the food directors to put up the advertising of the school. So for those that farm and that's able to bring their produce to the school, but they can't stay, but let's at least have a bulletin board up saying, this is a picture of the farm, this is what we grow. So on this locally grown, I keep looking up here, but I got it here, but just put on there Monday blueberries, Tuesday yellow squash, Wednesday mustard greens and sweet potato, Thursday cucumbers, and Friday zucchini. Let them know ahead of time what they're having, and then maybe we can interact it in the classroom for just 10 minutes, if I could get the teachers just to do that. And so not knowing, kind of knowing, coming from that, you have to go through the whole Department of Education, you have to go through the PTAs to get the parents involved to say that they want to know about it. So what we end up doing was we just come to the school and just pitch it to the food director and see what she says. So the key players that we found out to be involved when you're trying to do this is the food service directors, of course the group that we work with, Mississippi Association of Cooperative, farmers, ranchers, and landowners, Department of Education, and Department of Ag. And I might have local colleges and universities, Southern and LSU, and we've noticed here we've been working with, it's in Hammond, Southeastern University. We have been working, it was a group of football players that wanted local produce on the campus. And now we have no idea how they contact, us. We just, they said, could we bring it there? And we said, well, of course we can. So the group the college has a food group. And what we ended up doing was setting up a farmer's market on the campus in the Lion's Den, those of you that know about the campus. And it's like an arena, and we set up a farmer's market there, and we got a local chef, and he would cook the vegetables for the guys and put it in the Tupperware and tell them how long it could stay in the refrigerator. And it ended up growing to be something that we do every semester. And it's grown so now that, they was like, well, if Indian Springs, if you can't show up, you done inspired so many people around here. We got a nice little farmer's market on the campus. So I call that farm to school because we was able to, bring a market there. And then I always say, of course there was competition. Who would thought that there would be competition at a farmer's market at a university? Well, Sodexo came and set a table in front of ours, and they was giving the produce away as we was selling ours for a reasonable rate to the college students. So that means we had a clash of the titans. It's what I call it, this new game everybody is playing. So we had this clash, but we end up having to talk and work it out. So now we became a vendor of Sodexo, and they put their free table up. So that was just the accomplishment that we were able to achieve. Right here, we create another market, to generate revenue and the possibilities. And all of this is done with the co-op. Now, co-ops are dying out, and they're coming in, and they're dying out. But a co-op is just so much better than an independent person trying to do. Just speaking on myself, if I tried to have this $3 million liability insurance, I wouldn't be able to do it. But by me falling up under the umbrella of a cooperative, I'm able to afford having my produce protected with liability insurance, and then I'm able to make a sustainable living for my family. being able to grow and being able to sell through the cooperative model. And this is a group of us. This is with the cafeteria ladies and a professor from the University of Southern Mississippi, which is a nutrition person. So we end up working with the cafeteria ladies because would you be surprised some of them don't know how to cook fresh sweet potatoes? Could you believe it? I couldn't believe it, but you're so used to everything, just you pour it out the can and you warm it up. But they was interested in even learning new ideas of how to cook things different and, maybe making cauliflower and adding buffalo sauce to it. I'm just saying, they doing it, but the kids are eating it. So you find in different kind of ways. And so now I'm in the process of saying, okay, I might need to have a cooking class or something at our cooperative during the summer for the cafeteria workers and find some type of, stipend or benefit to give them so they learn and take back. But all of that is a part of Farm to School that we've been doing in cooperative. So a marketing tool that we use and participate in is the classroom, farm field trips, school newsletter, word of mouth, just being able to get it out, being able to tell, the kids about the produce, and then they being able to go home and say, well, mom and dad, auntie, uncle, grandma, mama, we want peas today because we had peas from Indian Springs. Or I noticed it's a group that we've started working with, Point Capee Minority Farmers Association, which is in Bachelor, Louisiana, which is a small group that's getting started with, they've been growing produce, but they are now trying to go into the school. So the cost is something that you look at. Like I said, as we did, that was something that we didn't even plan to do in 2006 and we've been doing it every year to the schools in Louisiana. And some type of way, they end up creating a budget for us. And so we serve every September and October, which has been strange. We have to grow watermelons late to have them in October. But we bring down, I guess, probably about 5 tons of watermelons to about 6 different schools, and we serve those schools in that one day, and we visit every school to make sure that they see the farmer and they eat watermelon. We stand and slice each one of those watermelons every year. We do that in Louisiana, and that's just one way. And then they end up finding a way to pay us. Not saying that they had to, but this is a budget that they include now in their meal system. They include in their yearly, their meetings that they have, that we're going to have a farm to school day, and one day it's going to be watermelons. And then now it's sapsums from somewhere in Plaquemine Parish. They found the farmer, but they use a different farmer. But they also kept us, which we are very grateful for. So I just love coming to Louisiana. I do. Because we couldn't do this in Mississippi. Mind you now, we could not do this in Mississippi. They just did not adhere to it at first. And so the next thing, I said, well, we're 99 miles from Louisiana, and they're always friendlier than, a little bit more southern than us. So, hey, let me go and pitch that. And boy, did they do it. And so for me to go back home and talk about Louisiana just made Mississippi just jump on board. They had to. So just communication, email, market yourself, set up appointments with the food director, knowing what you have in advance for what you want to grow, how the product will be sold, the volume that you can, serve. All of this has become important steps that we've been learning about trying to get produce into other school systems. This is something that we end up thinking about, was this value added. And value added has really shown us the price of things, which we've already known, but just being able to see that sweet potatoes from the pound, you could get 90 cents a pound. But then if you got sweet potato French fries, you sell them for $2.37 a pound, which is a little bit more labor intense. But look at the difference that you have. Lettuce, right here you have 32 cents a head. Then if it's harvested, it gave us $1.11 a pound. But if it's in a bag and washed, it's $2.71 for that one lettuce head, which is some lettuce that we grow at 32 cents a head. So this value added, it's a little bit, it's not a little, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work involved in it. But actually the pay also turns out too. Let me back up. Successful products, watermelon delivery. This is something that that is our little truck that we was able to purchase. And this was off the sales of some of the things that we do for the school. And it's not just, like I said, it's not just something that we want to deliver and drop off, but we want to be a part. We want to be a part of the school. We want to be a part of the student lives because you just never know who you touch nowadays. You don't know. And we was at the school. Oh, shoot. What is the name of the school in Louisiana? Samuel J. Green Charter School. That's in New Orleans, downtown. We were serving watermelons there, and what is the guy now? I'm sorry. He is a football player on the Saints team. Well, he come through there, and he saw all these watermelons, and asked somebody what we were doing, and they said, "Well, those farmers come from Mississippi, and they donate these watermelons." He said, "Well, they come to my town to donate. I can donate a turf field," and he. Within the next 3 months, because of that what he saw, he gave back to that school. So I just say, how that passed the pay it forward. Pay it. I mean, it just started picking up. It it just really started picking up. So that's just, and so this is actually my dad, and they set up where we eat the watermelon, and he sit out there and he talks to them. Now, mind you, he's an international, is what I call him, an international farmer, because he farms in Africa, he do a little farming in Haiti, he go in Virgin Islands. I mean, he works all over with cooperative groups. But when September, October comes, he's going to be there at those schools with the rest of them. Because, I mean, it really touches you to know that you're touching these kids, and some of them say, "Well, can we take them home?" So we start growing these little sugar babies, and I tried to grow that square China watermelon, but it break my fiberglass. It don't live in the metal box, the one that it's a square watermelon. You can slide it right in the refrigerator. I can't get it, but we working on it. So, giving the kids something different that they could have. But we sit there with them and, just talk to them that whole day. And so we'd have honey and tomatoes and corn. This is just a few pictures we was able to grab. And we do the sweet potatoes. And before, we were doing those sweet potatoes by hand until we realized, there's a machine out there that can do it on an industrial level, which costs a lot. But, we was able to pull together in a cooperative, and all of us pitched in. And not that we just have to pitch in out of our pocket, but we would say, we'll take $1 out of every sale that I make in. So if I was selling 50 cases of eggplants and I got, $1,000 or something, you take some money from there, do 10% or 20%. I wouldn't miss it in the long run, but then just to end up knowing that our cooperative owned a sweet potato machine cutter. It's just grand to know, and it all works out for the best. This is just a contact information, which is an office that I work out of. But not only that, we just do so much with I don't know how you do this now. He'll fix me up. But just being able to be in the cooperative and being able to serve back to the communities, and not only just our community, but local communities. Like I said, we are 99, just say 100 miles from Louisiana. So I still feel that we are a part of Louisiana because it's within 100 miles. And it's schools all over. But my thing was with farm to school, as big as it, if every community had somebody that grow, and it's not that our cooperative is trying to monopolize and take over all the schools, but if we could just grow for our schools in our community, and then we find, you know, the next community and they have a farmer there and they serve theirs, or we just work together, do you know how much healthier, you know, our children would be, and not only that, but the education that they would have knowing about fresh vegetables. Because we push fresh vegetables all the time, but sometimes I don't think we know what they are. You know, like I said, in the school system, just being able to talk to the food directors and then being able to talk to the employees that's in the cafeteria. You know, a lot of them, they would like to know more things. Some people, you know, some of them just have a job to have, but all the ladies and the guys that I've met in the cafeteria, they would say, well, won't you have a course? Or won't you let us come out to the co-op and see it? I'll say, well, I can always use somebody helping me pick okra because my daddy plant mile-long rows. And if anybody know about okra, you pick it in the morning, it's back in the evening. So you'll be back out there picking that okra, and it's a task. But we've did about 500 kids this summer that have come out to our cooperative and out to our farm. I'm talking about from preschool, from 2-year-old. I said, no, you could bring them at 1. You know, we don't want to turn anyone around. So now we had them eating eggplants from 1-year-old, and we had freshmen in college, which I didn't think nobody was going to come for the college day. But I think we end up having about 75 from local colleges come wanting to know about vegetables and how to pick it and how it's grown. So it just grows, and this has just been a part of Indian Springs Farmers Association, like John said, which has been in existence since 1872. And, you know, we come into establishment in 1981, which I was still a star in the sky, but just the thought of all this history that I've able to, you know, learn about and be a part. And then I've been able to challenge some of my coworkers, as this Miss Maya sitting here, comes from the city of Lexington, Kentucky, and, you know, she come and moved down here to work with us, but she didn't know anything about vegetables, but she's an animal science person from Tuskegee, graduate. But just being able to teach her and let her learn about vegetables, so now she can go out there and jump on the tractor. She know how to get started in growing the vegetables. And I say, if I could teach you to eat and teach you to grow, you'll never grow hungry. You never go hungry because you could grow it in your pot in the windowsill. And that's what we end up doing, is having the kids at the cooperative to be able to take the pots home and grow. And not only do they just do it, but I check up on them. I go back to the school, and I teach the guys in the cooperative. You know, you can give something away, but how you know what it's doing? If I give it to you and you don't know about it, I have to make sure that you learn about it and keep it going. So our little group has grown and grown. But it has been it all sounds good, but it wasn't easy. Let me say that. You know, it's not easy, but it has grown to be easy for the guys and for myself, being able to sell and being able to see it grow to the next generation as myself. This is something that I ran away from. I literally ran away from it. I interned teaching in South Africa, and I wasn't coming back to no farm. I was staying over there. I was getting far away from that farm as I possibly could. And look, I ended right back on it. So it's just, you know, being able to see that, but being able to pass it on and being able to be here in Louisiana to give you the story to where we started with going into the school system, but not only that, but being able to be welcomed back over and over again. That's a blessing that we have. That's a blessing and a connection that we have with farm to school. So